All right, welcome everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. My mic's not sounding quite right in my ears, but hopefully it's coming through on your end. If anybody that has my phone number out there could send me a message, let me know if the audio is coming through correctly. They're just getting warmed up here. Grand Forks taking on Fargo Angels here this morning in Grand Forks. Last time these two teams met, it was a convincing victory for the Angels. They won that one 7-2. Are sitting in third place here in the East Division. Grand Forks in the fourth spot, but a pretty big gap there as Angels show a 5-2 record in league play, and Aviators showing a 2-4 record. So there's a pretty wide margin there between the two teams, but Aviators with a big weekend here to climb some or close that gap here a little bit as they take on the Fargo Angels today, and then they'll take on the Fargo Freeze tomorrow. Freeze sitting at the bottom of the standings in the East Division, showing 1-7, with their lone victory actually coming against this Grand Forks team. So Aviators are going to look to get a little payback for that game. Both of these games against the Freeze and the Angels taking place down there in the Grand Forks Parks Department building. Aviators haven't had a lot of luck down there this year so far. I believe we played 2 or 3 games and lost them all in that building. So Aviators is going to be happy to be playing this one at home. The game tomorrow as well will be at home here in Grand Forks. So nice, easy weekend for the Aviators, staying home all weekend. Just 2 games, one this morning, one tomorrow. I believe that one's at 12:15. So hopefully you can join us for that one. So we're getting the pucks picked up here. We'll gather around the goaltenders one more time, and then we'll get this one going. Aviators coming off a pretty strong weekend, obviously finishing third place out of what I believe was 16 teams, I think. So strong showing up there in Winnipeg. Playing in some pretty tight games, battling back in a couple as well. Looks like everyone's here to play today. I know Mason Fargo's injured up there in Winnipeg in the third game, I believe, and didn't play the rest of the tournament, but I see he's out there now, so ready to go, as we'll have Blake Baskai taking over the net here for the Aviators in this one today. We'll probably see Dom tomorrow. Aviators getting some professional photos taken of them as well during this game, so all the family members out there be looking forward to those pictures and coming out here in the next couple days. Looks like it'll be Jordy Shower out there centering Caden Yana and Wyatt by. Looks like Daxon and Nick will be on defense. So we get ready for puck drop here. Just checking the boards one more time. Signaling to the scores table, and we'll be underway here as the puck's won back by the Aviators. Henderson over to the near side wall, picks up, loops back in his own zone, sends it over to Daxon. Daxon through the middle, trying to hit Shower a little bit off the mark. Angels are going to try to get control here. They'll skate this one down into the Aviators' end, but a quick whistle off sides here on the Angels, and we're going to face off just outside the Aviators' zone, right down here in front of us. We are playing here at the Gambucci Arena in Grand Forks. So we're a little bit right on top of the ice here, but that's all right. Shower takes the face off again for the Aviators. One back this time by the Angels. They'll send a D to D. Now through the middle, swallowed up by a couple of Aviators. Shower trying to steal it back. Comes to Henderson. Henderson will skate this one forward, chips it into the zone. Onside were the Aviators. Wyatt trying to steal this one. It looks like he does. Sends it back to the point, out to Daxon at the point. Turns, fires, goes off a skate down into the corner. Coming to the near side as Blasky comes off the bench to chase after this one. Now Fiala in the far corner trying to seal that wall. Off, but it's sent out to the point. Kulak with a shot, sends one towards the net, bouncing behind the net, picked up by Fiala. Fiala gets it up to Blasky. Stolen away by the Angels. They'll backhand this one out in the neutral zone. Be picked up by Kulak. Him and Miedema are out there on defense for the Aviators now. Brought through the middle, trying to get through a couple different Aviators. Sealed off nicely there. Mason Fargo coming back to help out his defenseman. Will be picked up by Mason Fiala. He'll skate this one down into the Angels' end. Backhands one out front, but nobody home for the Aviators. Angels steal that one away. They go behind their own net. Misplayed here. Fiala out front. Shot sent on. Whistles just wide of the cage. Miedema slides down to keep it in. Fiala comes back to help out. He takes his shot. That one comes bouncing out into the neutral zone right to Kulak. He'll dump this one down in. It'll ring around to the near side. Blasky will get there first. Sends it down low to Mason Fargo. He sends it out front trying to get to Nicholson. Nicholson got swallowed up though. Angels trying to get it out of their own zone, but the Aviators do a nice job of keeping this one in. Benson at the blue line. Backhands one down in, but it goes up and over the glass and out of play. So it looks like we'll get a face-off here. I believe just outside the zone since it was the Aviators that put it out. So it'll be Luke Nicholson taking a face-off between Owen Berg and Seffi. This one comes back to Green. Green sends it in, goes off a body, bouncing puck. Picked up by the defenseman. He blows a tire. Nicholson sends one out to the point, but that's a little bit off the mark, and Angel's going to try to work this one out. Looks like it will come out in the neutral zone. Benson slides over, pushes it back towards the Angels' end. Angels trying to get this down the Aviators' end, but stolen away here by Owen Berg. He'll skate it forward into the zone. Sends one over through the middle, trying to hit Nicholson. Taken away by the Angels, but Benson's able to keep the blue line. Sent through the middle. That one goes off of Owen Berg, so no icing, but Henderson's down here to grab it anyways. He sends one off the wall, gets it up to Berg, tips it out into the neutral zone. Seffi will chase after it. Angels go D to D, now through the middle, but that was almost stolen away by Jordy. Angels just try to chip this one in, but stolen away by Jordy along the wall. Feeds it to the middle. Had handcuffed wide a little bit. Wide trying to get there in the corner, sealed off by a defenseman. Angels backhand with short. Jordy trying to poke it in. Looks like it's in the back of the net. Just chipped at it, right and up and over the goaltender's shoulder and into the back of the net. And the Aviators strike first here. They take the 1-0 lead with 14:06 to go here in the first period. So a little backhand play there by the defenseman for the Angels. Got partially tipped, and it rolled out just short side, where Jordy was able to just get enough on it to get it up and over the goaltender's shoulder into the back of the net. And the Aviators have that 1-0 lead, but Angels trying to strike back here as they get behind the defense, but nice job by Henderson, comes flying back, steals that one away. He sends it back down the corner for Daxon. Daxon chips it up the wall trying to get it to Wyatt. Wyatt centering pass, gets it up to Daxon. Daxon down the far side, sends it through the middle over to Caden Yana. He slows things up, backhands one down in. Looks like Schauer will go for a change. Daxon went for a change. Now Miedema and Kulak out there on defense. This one picked up by Caden Yana, trying to center it over to Fiala. Stolen away by the Angels and sent back in offside. So we're going to face off here just outside the zone. 13:24 to go here in the first period. 1-0 lead for the Aviators. 2-1 lead for the Aviators in the shot department as well. Feel like we've had a couple more shots than that, but either way, maybe they're not putting them up right away either. This one won by the Angels. They bring it in. Tried to hand it off to the wing, and it goes a little too far into the corner. Charlie comes over and seals off the wall. Stolen away here by Fargo. Gets it up to Fiala, but couldn't quite get that one out. Angels send it back down below the goal line. Kulak brings it around over to the far side to Fargo. He gets swallowed up, picked up by Fiala. He'll skate this one out. It's knocked down here. Angels get control. They're going to go behind their own net, but knocked away by Fiala. Angels regain control. They'll send it up the side ball. Now through the middle, out all the way down. Kulak's going to chase this one down. No ice on this one. He picks up, goes behind his net. Has two Angels players on him, but he'll skate this one forward with some speed. On the left side, gets it taken away. Peels off, goes back to his D spot, but stolen away by Blasky here in the corner. Tried to send one out front. Still trying to steal this puck back. Fiala with a big hit there. Now Fargo takes a shot, but that gets blocked. Benson over there putting the body on as well and dumps it back down in. Angels behind their own net, setting things up, taking a look. Sent through the middle, a little bit of a flutter puck there. This one's picked up by Seffi for a moment, then Nicholson, but it gets pushed out into the neutral zone where it'll be picked up by Benson. He fires one back in right on net. Goaltender pushes it in the corner. Angels behind their own net again. They'll slow things down, but this one's stolen away by Seffi. She sends it up to Benson. Benson's shot sent on, gets blocked, doesn't make it to the net. Sent up the sidewall. The Angels with control. They'll work this one out to the blue line, out of the zone. It's sent right back in by the Aviators, and we'll get a offsides call and a face-off here in front of the Angels bench. So Nicholson line out there. He's got Seffi to his right, Owen Berg to his left, Easton Green and Benson on defense here. This one pushed into the zone. Angels will get on it first. Nicholson trying to steal it away. Now Seffi joins. She's going to chip this one out. Comes out to Benson. Benson off his skate. Comes out of the neutral zone. Angels player trying to split the D. Trying to get around Benson, but defended nicely here. It does roll in on Blake. Holds on. He gets a glove on it there, and we'll get a face-off just down here to our right in the Aviators' end. So 11:29 to go first period. 1-0 lead for the Aviators. Still a 2-1 shot advantage for the Aviators. Nicholson's line will stay out there, but we'll see Henderson and Norby come out on defense. One back by the Angels. Shot through traffic. Right into the belly. Actually, right into the glove. Blake, he holds on to that one. And we'll get a face-off here. Reset and do it again. Nicholson. One back by the Angels. They send it down the sidewall. Shot sent on, but right into the glove of Blake. He'll hold on to that one. And we will just reset and do it again. We'll send out some new forwards here for the Aviators. Looks like it'll be Shower line coming out with Wyatt and Caden as his wingers. Jordy will take the face off here for the Aviators. Face off one back by the Angels. They step up, shot sent on through traffic, right into the belly of Blake once again. And we'll get another face off. Shower wins that one back, comes to Henderson. Henderson trying to get away from a couple Angels players there. Looks like it'll come loose over to Shower. He feeds it up to Yana. Yana trying to give it right back to Shower, but whiffed on that one a little bit. Henderson trying to work it out of the corner. Looks like he'll skate this one forward. Chips up the wall, trying to get to Wyatt. Couldn't quite get that one out. Daxon will follow it up. He sends it through the middle. That was a little bit too far for Caden, but he did get a stick on it partially. Angels get control. They're able to get it out in the neutral zone. Caught up in some skates here. Sent over to the far side. Dumped down in. Blake will stop this one behind his own nets. Leaves it off for Charlie. Charlie gives it to Jordy. Jordy gives it back. Goes over to the far side to Wyatt. Wyatt to the middle. Trying to hit Daxon. Daxon couldn't quite get control of that puck. Now it's Charlie. He'll skate this one forward. Feeds it to the middle. Gets it over to Caden. Caden over to Wyatt. Wyatt dumps it down in. Angels trying to get control in their own zone here. Blasky off the bench trying to steal it away, but Angels will skate out into the neutral zone. Down the right side. Knocked down there by Fiala. Arm up. Looks like a penalty coming here to Mason Fiala for tripping. We'll get our first power play of the game, and it'll be for the Angels. The Aviators will head to the box. 5-on-4 power play here for the Angels. 10:08 remaining first period. Shots tied up now 4-4. Aviators leading 1-0 on the scoreboard, but a golden opportunity here for the Angels to tie this one up here on the power play. Mason Fargo to take the face off. He's out there with Ryder Blasky. Shot sent on there by the Angels. Blake had to make a big toe save. They feed it to the top. Now down the sidewall. They work it over to the far side. Shot sent on, bouncing puck. Blake made the save. Cleared out of there by Charlie. Dumped down here by Mason. Looks like it won't go for icing. Ref called out the defenseman for not skating and said this will not be icing. Angels work it out down the near side. Brings it into the zone. Down into the corner. Slows things up a little bit. Knocked off a stick there all the way down the ice by Mason Fargo on a nice defensive play, and we'll get an icing call this time, though. So a reset back down into the Aviators end. Minute 14 to go on the power play for the Angels. .9:21 to go here, first period. 7-4 shot lead now for the Angels. This face-off set up the wall by Easton Green. Angels get control. They'll dump it down low. Benson trying to steal this one away behind the net. Benson battling a couple players, chips it up the glass. It gets up to the defenseman, but not out. Angels will keep this one in. They'll just dump it over into the near side corner. They'll slide down from the defensive spot. Big hit there by Mason. Fargo shot sent on, goes high and wide. It'll ring out to the blue line, kept in by the Angels. About 40 seconds to go here on the power play. Down the right side, sent to the middle. That one goes all the way through. Angels with it again on the far side, top of the point. They work it down the side wall. One-timer attempt there gets whiffed on behind the net. Easton Green comes back to pick it up. Try to send out by Blasky here. Shot sent on through traffic. I don't know if Blake saw that one much. Put his arm up a little bit, but it looked like it might have surprised him as there's a lot of traffic out front. And with 23 seconds on the power play, Angels tie this game up at 1 with 8.5 to go in the first period. Nicholson takes it, ties it up. Seppi dumps it down into the Angels' end. She'll chase after behind the net. Angels get on it first. Comes loose to Berg. Berg tried to backhand one out to Nicholson. Nicholson hands it off to Seppi. Berg with it behind the net. He sends one off the skate. Looks like net came off, though. Otherwise, it would have been wide open net for Seppi, but a quick whistle. And we're going to face off here. On the near side down here in Angels. And Nicholson will take the face off once again for the Aviators. Seppi and Owen Berg out there with him. One back to Henderson. Henderson shot through traffic. Goes off a body change direction. Whistled by the far post. The Angels will dump this one out in the neutral zone. Henderson with it. Backhands one down in. Angels trying to get out of their own zone. They'll skate this one forward. That goes off a stick. Daxon will gather it up in front of his own bench. Chips it up the glass. Gets it back to the Angels' end. Seppi puts on a big hit there. Angels with control again, though. They'll send this one out into the neutral zone. They'll pick it up on the far side. Dump this one down in, but it goes off the referee's skates. Daxon trying to get it out, which he will with his skate. Kicks it out in the neutral zone. Angels gets control. They bring it right back in. Dump it down into the corner. Daxon trying to get control of it. Lost it behind his own net. Chips up the wall, trying to get to Seppi, but a little bit too far for her. Angels will dump this one down into the corner. This one sent off the inside skate of Blakey. Holds on, though. And we're going to whistle and a face-off coming here down in the Aviators' end. So 7:19 to go, first period, 1-1 hockey game. Angels able to tie this one up on the power play just a moment ago. The Showers line out there now for the Aviators. He pushes this one to the sidewall, picked up by the Angels player. He dumps it down below the goal line. Charlie trying to steal it away. It looks like Charlie's in there, but Angels will come away with it. Backhand sent on. Blake makes the save. Puck loose. Shot sent on. Got tipped up and over the net. Looks like the net's off, so we get a whistle here. And we're going to face off down on the Aviators' end. So Kulak can meet him out there on defense. It'll be Caden, Wyatt, and Jordy as the forwards. Jordy will take the face off here for the Aviators in his defensive zone. One back by the Angels. They work it to the middle, send it down the sidewall. Sent through the middle, tipped out front. Looks like Kulak was able to get a stick lift there. Up to Yana, center ice. Now Kulak slips around one, works into the zone. Got hooked up a little bit. Calling for a penalty as he comes back here. Nice job by Minema to come back over and help out, but a guy wide open up front. Shot sent on, but a big blocker save there by Blake. Keeps that one out of the net. Player got in all alone. Here's Minema up the wall, trying to get it to Wyatt. It comes out to the point. Shot sent on. That one whistles wide. Up the sidewall. They send it back out to the point again. Work it to the middle. Now they chip it down the far side wall. The backhand went up the wall. Wyatt trying to steal this one away. It comes loose to Kulak. Kulak will dump this one down. Looks like that one will go for icing, and we'll reset back down in the Aviators' end. 6:05 to go here, first period. 1-1 hockey game. Angels leading in the shot department now, 9-5. Obviously, it has a lot to do with the power play. It'll be the Fiala line out there for the Aviators. He'll take the face off. He wins it back in the corner. Benson goes over to get it. Fiala pick it up behind his own net. Caught up in his skates, trying to get control of this one. Easton Green had it knocked off of his stick. Green pushes it forward. Sends one off the wall, gets taken out. Now Blasky comes over and throws the body around a little bit. Down into the corner. Fiala with it. Feeds up to Blasky. Sidewall. Chips it out. This one sent down the ice. Rolling on its edge. Looks like it'll go down for icing. And we'll retreat back down into the Aviators' end here for another face-off. 5:35 remaining first period. Fiala, Blasky, and Fargo out there for the Aviators. Benson and Easton on defense. Fiala takes the face-off, wins it over to the sidewall. Easton trying to get a handle on it. Looks like it comes loose up to Fiala. Fiala skate this one forward down the near side, trying to get around the defenseman. Had that stolen away. Battle for it along the wall here. Comes down into the Aviators' end, picked up by Easton Green. He'll chip this one back out in the neutral zone. Fargo turns it right back in, though. Green sealing off the wall, pushes it back out. Blasky chips it off the wall. Fargo will get control. Sent to the middle, stolen away here. Picked up by Mason Fargo, far side. Skates it down in, using his big frame to push the defenseman around. Lost control behind the net. It'll come up to Benson at the point. He'll send a shot on through traffic. That gets blocked by a Fargo Angels defenseman. Here's a race for it down the ice. Fargo trying to get there first. Benson doing a nice job of getting back. Sealing that one off. Big hit there by Benson. Angels send it up the wall. They'll send this shot on through traffic. That goes all the way through to the near side. Blasky trying to get this one out. Looks like he'll push it out in the neutral zone. Angels will pick it up. They'll send it over. Nice job by Seppi there. Picked up by Benson. That went off the boards right by the Aviators bench. Benson has it once again in his own end. Makes a guy miss. He'll skate this one forward. Cuts it through the middle. Down the middle. Works it to the right side. Shot sent on, gets blocked. Stays with it. Has it behind the net. Stolen away by Fargo here, though. They'll skate this one out. Down the right side, trying to get around Seppi. Guy out front, they'll have to tie up here. Shot sent all the way through. This will come out to the point. Shot sent on. Now he gets blocked by Owen Berg's stick. Angels will get control behind the net. They'll work it over into the far corner. Picked up by Benson. Fires this one all the way down for an icing, relieve the pressure, and we'll get a face-off. Back down here in the Aviators' end. Looks like Blake trying to fix his post a little bit, slipping off. Need to get a good squirt of water on those things as well, freeze it in a little bit. Nicholson to take the face-off for the Aviators. He's out there with Berg and Seppi. It'll be Daxon and Henderson on defense. Fargo slipping through, trying to get a shot off. That one went to the side of the net. Now they send it over to the far side corner. Down low. Up to the point here near side. Shot sent on, but right into the glove of Blake, and he'll hold on. We're going to face off here again in the Aviators' end with 3:31 remaining first period. Oh, Showers line out there. Caden and Wyatt with him. This one all the way through. Henderson trying to steal it away. It does come out of the neutral zone. Picked up by Shower. Shower will bring it in down the left side. Shot sent on. Bouncing puck. Confused the goaltender. Bounced off the crossbar. Arm up here by the ref. Looks like we're going to penalty call on the Angels. So Aviators will go on a power play. Shower sends it over to Blasky. Blasky is the extra man for the Aviators, but the Angels touch it first here. A slashing call here on the Angels, so a power play opportunity for the Aviators. We'll get a face-off down in the Angels' end. 3:08 to go here, first period. 5-on-4 power play opportunity for the Aviators. Showers line will stay out there. Henderson and Norby stay out as defense. We're just waiting for the penalty to put up on the board. We got it up on the board, so here we go. Power play opportunity for the Aviators. 2 minutes up on the board. Poke through. That'll come out in the neutral zone. Picked up by Daxon. Daxon dumps it in. A little bit offsides there, so we're going to face off just outside the zone. Maybe they're still getting used to the rule changes back again, as last weekend they were able to play with late offsides, icing it on the penalty kill. Obviously can't do that right now, so lively puck coming off the backboard there. Goaltender Alexa just covered up. So we're going to face off here in the Angels, and minute 41 still to go on the power play. 1-1 hockey game here with 2:48 to play in the first period. Face off one on the sidewall. Looks like it'll be Shower down in the corner. Works it behind the net. Gets slashed, another arm up. Sent out to Henderson, bounces over his stick. This one rolling down into the Aviators' end. They'll get the extra man out on the ice here as long as Henderson keeps control. Backhands them through the middle. Comes to Shower. Shower with control of it. Dropped off for Blasky. Blasky far side. Brings it through the middle. Try to feed it over to Yana. Yana chips it down low. Gets it to Blasky. Hands it off to Fargo, though. They get a touch. And we'll get another slashing call here on Fargo. So minute 9 of 5-on-3 power play time here for the Aviators. .216 left on the game clock here to go in the first period, but a big opportunity for the Aviators to poke one away as they'll have a 2-man advantage here for the next minute and 9 seconds. It'll be the Fiala line out there with Kulak and Charlie on defense. Charlie with it now. Feeds it over to Kulak, far side. Kulak walks it in. Shots sent on. Whistles up and over the crossbar. Comes all the way out to Charlie on the near side. Charlie sends it over to Kulak again. Kulak. Shot sent on. Sent to the middle. A nice clearing effort there by the Angels. Pushes it back out in the neutral zone. Kulak will pick it up. He'll skate this one forward. Sends it through the middle. Comes over to Blasky. Blasky dumps it down in. Far side. Fargo chase after it. Big hit there by Mason. Fargo gets over to Fiala. He'll feed it out to Kulak. Kulak walks it in. Shot sent on. Goes off his skate. Comes over to the near side. Meet him. I'll slide this one down in the corner. Mason Fargo come over to try to steal it away. It'll be Miedema out to Kulak. Kulak walks it over. Sends it over to Blasky. Blasky with a shot through traffic. Goes off the goalie's stick up and into the upper netting there, and we'll get a whistle. So face-off coming over here on the near side of the Angels' end. Minute 27 to go first period. 20 seconds to go on the first penalty to the Angels. A minute 12 to go on the second one. So still 20 seconds of 5-on-3 here. As Nicholson wins that one back. Gets to Benson. Benson sends one through the middle down towards the net. Gets it over to Seffi. Seffi sends it back to Easton Green, but off of his stick and out into the neutral zone. Benson will retreat and pick this one up. This will pretty much do it for the 5-on-3. They'll get one man back here. They have control of the puck now, too, and they'll skate this one in as it's 5-on-4 here for the next 48 seconds. Picked up by Seffi. Spins away from one check. She'll skate this one forward. Hands it off to Nicholson. Nicholson down the near side. Sends it through the middle, trying to get over to Berg. That got taken away by the Angels. They'll work it back into the Aviators' end. Nicholson trying to feed it up to Berg. Gets it up to Berg. He slips away from a couple different people. Chips up the wall. Gets to Nicholson, but a little bit behind him as there's a battle for it right here in front of us. Nicholson backhands it up the wall. Angels try to dump this one back out. But offsides call there on the Aviators. And we're going to face off here just outside the zone. So 30 seconds to go first period. 14 seconds to go on the 5-on-4 power play here for the Aviators. Didn't get a lot going there on the 5-on-3. Got a couple shots. Only one that got to the net. Caden backhands that one over to Daxon. Daxon through the middle to Jordy. Jordy down the left side. Hands it off trying to lead it off for Kane. It actually comes to Wyatt. Wyatt gives it over to Nicholson, but misplayed there. Comes out of the neutral zone. Little face off here. Center ice as that one went offside. So we're back to 5-on-5 hockey here. We got about 11 seconds to go here in this first period. Face off, dropped down. Knocked away by Caden Yana, knocked off of his stick. Jordy trying to get control of it. He'll just dump it in. About 4 seconds to go. It's behind the net. Angels gathered up. They sent it out in the neutral zone, but that's the end of the first period. So 1-1 hockey game here. Both teams having their chances. Both teams having some power play opportunities. Angels were able to capitalize on their power play opportunity. Aviators had a 5-on-3 opportunity there, but couldn't quite get any solid shots on net. And we stay 1-1 here after one. A few positives there for the Aviators. A couple things they need to work on. Need to tie up some sticks and stuff out front. They're doing a good job of keeping the Angels to the outside when they're in the offensive zone, but obviously on that one goal, it was a man advantage, shot through traffic. Need to clear those guys out, let their goaltenders see what's going on, but 2 more periods to play here. Had some success in their own offensive zone, moving the puck around. Had a couple of long stretches there where they controlled the play in the zone, but they'll need to do a little bit more of that and get a little more quality shots on net. Getting a lot of shots from the point, not with a lot of traffic or bodies out front. Almost scored a couple of goals off of weird deflections, just getting pucks and shots on net. So whether it's going off an Aviator or an Angel, either way, the puck can find its way into the back and net, just get shots on. So refs are ready to go here for the second period. Starters will head out here for both teams. Looks like it'll be the Fiala line for the Aviators, so it'll be Mason centering Mason and Ryder. Nick and Daxon on defense here as Mason will take the face off. One back, comes right to Henderson. Henderson will skate this one forward. Works it to the middle. Gets a shot off through traffic, but right into the glove of the goaltender. And we'll get a face off here in the offensive zone. Nice shot there by Henderson. A quick flash of the leather by the Angels goaltender. Kept that one on the net. We'll get an offensive zone face-off. One back to Henderson again. Shot through traffic, tipped by Fiala. Goaltender tried to glove that one, but it came loose. Sends it up to Mason. Fargo now into the corner again. Back to Fiala. Fargo down in the far corner trying to get control of this one. He catches an edge and goes down. Nets off. It's moorings again here. That was the reason for the whistle. Angels changing out their defenseman here. Mason Fiala take the face off again for the Aviators. He's won 3 clean face-offs there, but the Angels are able to chip this one out. Daxon will retreat down his own end to pick this one up. Goes behind the net, takes a look. Sends one up the wall, comes up to the point, but not out. Mason Fargo with a big hit, now picked up by Fiala. He sends one off the wall, off the glass, tipped off of the Angels defenseman down into their own end. They knock it back out into the neutral zone. Daxon tried to hand it off to Fiala, but Angels stole that one away. Nice shot by Henderson using his body there to knock down the Angels player, and we're going to face off down in the defensive zone here for the Aviators. So shots shown in favor of the Angels, 14-10. Tied up 1-1 on the scoreboard, though. Nicholson takes a face off. His line's out there. Seffi put the pressure on. Shot sent on through traffic, goes to the far side. Angels get on it first. They try to send another one towards the net. That one's stolen away by Kulak. Gets up to Berg. Berger over to Seffi on the far side. She sends it through the middle, gets to Nicholson. Nicholson sends it over to Berg. Berg down the right side. Slows things down, tries to feed it back to Kulak, but stolen away by the Angels, and they'll work this one down into the Angels' end. Picked up by Seffi behind her own net. They're getting an interference call here on Kulak. So power play opportunity here for the Angels. Once again, they are 1 for 1 on the power play, and they'll look to keep that success here in the second period. So they'll try to break this 1-1 tie. 15:36 to go in the second period. 5-on-4, 2 minutes up on the board. Nicholson to take the face off. He's out there with Berg. Push forward, picked up by the Angels. Shot sent on through traffic, but right into the glove of Blake. He holds on, and we're going to face off. Here it looks like it'll be on the far side of the defensive zone here. Nicholson to take the face off again. Benson and Easton playing defense. Face off one back by the Angels. They go D to D at the top of the point. Now over to the far wall. Nicholson trying to steal it away. Comes loose to Berg in the middle. He'll chip this one out down the ice. So will not make it for icing as Angels get there first. Nicholson putting some pressure on, trying to steal this one away, and back they come. Angels cutting through the middle. Working on Benson down the left side. Trying to get a shot off. Looks like Blake had to make a big save there. Picked up by Berg. Sends it through the middle. Trying to get it to Nicholson. Nicholson able to poke it out in the neutral zone though. Killing some valuable time, but Angels with control. They'll work this one back in. About 1:15 to go on the power play. Down the right side. They send it to the middle. That one's knocked away. But Angels get control again. They send it to the middle or off the guy coming off the bench. He got a shot off. Blake was able to make a pad save on that one. Angels working up the sidewall. They were out to the point. Shot sent on, blockered away by Blake. Picked up here by Benson in the corner. Now Berg trying to get it out. Couldn't quite get a stick on that. Down goes Berg. Angels with control. Shot sent on through traffic, shouldered away by Blake into the far corner. Angels with it behind the net. They send it through the middle, comes out to the point. Too many men there for the Angels, but no call. Big shove there by Benson. As we'll get a face off here with 30 seconds left to go on the power play. 14:06 to go in this period. Shots now in favor. 2-1, 20-10 here for the Angels. Looks like it'd be wide to take the face off. He's out there with Seffi, Daxon, and Nick on defense. Daxon will go behind his own net, chips it off the glass, chases after it down the wall here. Angels feed it out to the middle. They work it down the sideline. Now to the middle, shot sit on, big save there. I believe got all the way to Blake, picked up by Seffi. Tripping call there on Angels goes uncalled. Seffi doing a nice job of messing this up, and this will pretty much kill the penalty. We'll be back to 5-on-5 as Chase comes out of the bench. Out comes Cade Niana. He joins Wyatt and Seffi. Angels feed it out to the point. They work it down the sidewall here. Sent through the middle off of Caden's stick. Henderson slides over. Big hit along the boards. Picked up by Caden. Caden slows things down. Gets it out to the blue line. That's offsides. And we're going to face off here just outside the Aviators' end right in front of the Angels' bench. 13:16 to go here, second period. 1-1 hockey game. Fiala, Fargo, and Blasky come out. Norby and Henderson on defense. This one back, picked up by Henderson. He'll skate this one forward. Works it to the middle. Trying to get through the defense to the right side. Shot sent on. Goaltender makes the save. Mason Fargo trying to steal this one away along the wall. Now Blasky comes over. Picked up by Fargo. Fargo lost the handle on that one. Angels will skate this one forward. They'll chip it down into the Aviators' end. Daxon will chase after it. Backhands one along the wall over to Blasky. Shot sent on. Gets tipped by Henderson. Henderson feeds it up to Mason Fargo. Fargo through the middle, trying to get to Fiala, but that went off a stick. Angels will get control. They'll bring it right back in. Shots it in, goes wide. Brought out by the Angels here on accident. Stolen away by the Aviators. Brought in by Mason Fargo. Into the zone. Carving through a couple different people. Trying to get control here. Arm up. So a penalty coming on the Angels as Blake will head to the box. Looks like we'll get a hooking call here on the Angels. So a power play opportunity for the Aviators here in the second period. And now it'll be their turn to try to break the 1-1 tie as they'll head to the power play here for the next 2 minutes. Number 12, I believe that's for sure his second penalty. Might even be his third. Actually, I think it's just his second. Either way, we're going to face off down here in the Angels' end. Fiala to take the face off. The only change out there now is Charlie and Jace are on defense as Angels get control of this one. They'll skate this one out, send it over to the near side, bring it into the Aviators' end. Slowing things up, shots it on right into the glove of Blake, and he holds on, and we're going to face off here down in the Aviators' end. Aviators sending out, looks like Nicholson's line. He'll be out there with Berg and Newbert. It'll be Benson and Easton on defense. They feed this one out to the point. There's a power play here for the Aviators, even though we're down in their own end. This one picked up by Benson. Gets control of it, feeds it over to Green. Green takes a look, sends it up to Seffi. Seffi hands it off to Nicholson, brought into the zone. Stolen away by the Angels. They'll bring it back down to the Aviators' end. On the left side. They're working behind the net. They're killing this penalty pretty easily here as they feed it out to the point. That goes through the legs. Will come down into their own end, but Angels get on it first once again. 1:10 or so to go here on the power play. This one picked up by Benson. He'll skate it forward down the right side, trying to get around the defense. Uses his big frame, leans into him. Goes behind the net. Stuff attempt. Another quick whistle here. The net has come off again. As Benson tried to wrap that one around. It came through the blue paint. Nobody home for the Aviators as that puck squirted loose, and then the net came off anyways, so we got a whistle. Looks like Wyatt will be out there. He's switched spots with Jordy. He's now centering Jordy and Caden. Tied up at the blue paint. Jordy comes in, tries to steal it away. Along the wall here, sent to the point, picked up by Daxon. Daxon shots it on, but into the glove of the goaltender. And we're going to face off here. Reset here. Down in the Angels' end. Wyatt will take the face off again. Tied up at the dot. Comes loose. Jordy going to try to get control of this. About 45 seconds left to go on the power play, but Angels have control. They'll backhand this one through the middle. Picked up by Henderson. Lost control of that one. Now the Angels will skate it in. Trying to get around Daxon. Forces him to go wide. Daxon steals that one away. He'll skate this one forward. Down the near side, works it to the outside. Down into the corner, feeds it through the middle, trying to find Yana on the backside. Henderson slides up, picks it up, takes a shot. That gets partially blocked over into the corner and sent out to the point. Comes to Caden Yana. Yana sends one through traffic, gets blocked. Angels will dump this one out. It'll come loose at center ice to Daxon. About 10 seconds to go on the power play here as he skates this one forward. Brings it in. Down the right side. Feeds it to the middle. That goes off a Angels skate in on net. Angels get control of it. There's about 1 second left, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. So their guy comes out of the box. They have control, bring it in the zone, comes loose to Daxon again. He sends it up the wall. That one's going to go off the wall and all the way down into the Angels' end for icing. So we'll reset back down in the Aviators' end here for a face-off as we got 10-11 to go here. Second period. 1-1 hockey game. Both teams with power play opportunities, trying to break this one time, but we're unsuccessful. As the Fiala line comes out for the Aviators, Kulak and Minima on defense. This one comes over to Kulak. He goes behind his own net, sends it up the wall, trying to get to Blasky. Off of Blasky's stick. Angels get control. They feed out front, picked up by Kulak though. He loops away from a couple players. Backhands it up the wall, gets to Fargo. Misplayed there, kept in by the Angels. They'll chip it down in the far corner where Minima tried to grab it, but he got spun off the puck. Big hit there by Blasky. Fiala trying to steal this one away behind the net. Looks like he'll be successful. Gets it over to Blasky. Blasky gets tied up right away, though, and Angels steal it right back. They try to feed one up front. Somehow find the back of the net. Just a simple little pass and a backhand at it. Not sure that went off some sticks or what, but it somehow finds its way in the back of the net, and a 2-1 lead here for the Angels. Aviators jumping out to a 1-goal lead there in the first period, but giving up 2 unanswered here as Angels have taken the lead here in the second period with 9:38 to play. Broken stick there for Nicholson. He'll head to the bench. Berg slips through a couple defenders, brings it in, shot sent on, but right into the glove of the goaltender. And he holds on, and we'll get a face-off here down in the Angels' end. Nicholson, after getting a new twig, he'll take the face-off here. That one's pushed over to the side walls. Nicholson trying to dig it out of the wall here. Comes loose to the defenseman. Puck loose out front there. They're able to clear it out of harm's way, and back comes Angels. Working on Green down the far side. Benson doing a nice job up front, sealing off the play there. They feed one out front, but that comes loose over to Berg. Berg will skate this one forward right here in front of us, down into the Angels' end, down into the corner. Slips a check. Trying to get around a couple different players there. Angels will get control. They'll feed it over to the far side. Henderson will slide down to keep this one in. He has it down in the corner. He gets hit behind the net there a little bit, but stays on his feet. Henderson with it again. He steals it away. Tries to feed out front, but nobody home. Everybody was deep in the zone. As this one gets sent down into the Aviators' end, picked up by Benson. Benson slips away from one check. Still has control. Lost the handle on it. Henderson comes back to help out, but it goes right loose to Blake, and he gets it covered up, and we'll hold on and get a face-off. Everybody calling for a penalty there, but looks like we'll stay 5-on-5. Jordy Shower and his line to take the face off here. He gets bowled over. The ref still has the puck. Oh, that was weird. Face off tied up at the dot, shot sent on, blockered away there, shouldered away there by Blake as Henderson brings this one back down, trying to get through the defense, lost the handle on that one. Sent over to the near side by the Angels here, but stolen right back by the Aviators. A little back and forth here as Angels get control again. Comes loose. Caden Miana trying to get control. Now it comes to Jordy Shower. He feeds one over to Henderson. Henderson far side, shot through traffic, bouncing puck out front. Wyatt tried to feed it back to the point, but whiffed on that one a little bit. Henderson tried to keep it in the zone, but Angels work it out in the neutral zone. Daxton slides up, takes this one away, works it to the middle. Lost the handle on that one, tried to take a shot, has control of it down in the corner. Taken away, fed out to the point. Here's Yana trying to get a shot off, whiffed on that one a little bit. Angels will dump this down the Aviators' end, picked up by Minima. Goes behind his own net, takes a look, puts the brakes on. Chips it off the wall. He'll get his own pass here, trying to chip it out, do everything on his own here. He's waiting for his teammates to get off the bench. Daxton will grab this one behind the net, feeds it up the wall. That one dumped all the way down there. Looks like we'll get an icing call here and a face-off back down in the Aviators' end. So 2-1 lead here for Fargo. 7:11 to play here, second period. It'll be Fiala's line out there for the Aviators. Dump down in the corner. Fiala grabs it. Turns. Fires one up to Fargo. Goes off of his stick. Angels get control. They try to feed up front. Battle for it here. Kulak pushes up the wall, trying to get to Fargo. Fargo chips and goes around the defenseman, gets out the blue line. Not out yet, but now it is as Fiala skate this one forward. He cuts it to the middle, gets swallowed up, but still has control of it somehow. Angels steal it away, but Bosky comes over to help out. Bosky, shot sent through traffic, goes off the goaltender, sticking up and over the net. Fargo comes over, trying to steal it away. This one's sent down here. Looks like it'll be icing. And a penalty getting called here on the Aviators. So the Aviators going down a man again. Blasky not happy about that call. Looks like the faceoff will come out just outside the zone here since it was icing on the Angels, but the power play would have put it in the Aviators' end. So they meet in the middle here. We'll get the faceoff. Fiala and Fargo out there with Miedema and Kulak. 5-on-4 opportunity here for the Angels. Stolen away there by Fiala down the sidewall. Works it to the middle. Angels get it back. Fiala putting the pressure on. Fargo comes over, tries to seal him off, but into the zone they come. Miedema rides him into the corner. Gets that puck away. It's loose. Picked up by Fargo, trying to work it out front. Big hit there by Kulak. Fargo sends it out to the point, but not out here as Fargo works it in. Shot sent on, gets blocked there by Miedema. Net off again here. So we'll get a face-off down in the Aviators' end. 5:55 to play here, second period, 2-1 hockey game. Angels leading the Aviators. Minute 25 to go. On the power play here for the Angels. We're going to face off on the other side of the zone here. It'll be Owen Berg take the face off. He's out there with Seffi. It looks like it's Easton and Benson on defense. It's one back by the Angels off the face off though. They'll work it to the sidewall. Trying to send it to the middle. Shot, turn. Glove save there by Blake. Holds on. We're going to face off. So shot shown in favor of the Angels, 25-15 at this point. Berg to take the face off for the Aviators. Push forward, picked up by the Angels. They work it to the top of the point. They'll dump it down in the corner. Angels get on it behind the net. They work it up the sidewall. Now back up to the top. Down the side. Looking for that pass across. They keep it along the sideboards. Send it through the middle. It does get tipped up in the air. Picked up by Berg. Berg tries a backhand one up the wall. That went off the skate. Angels get it back. They work it out to the point. Now D-to-D. Down the left side, out front, but glove there by Blake. He holds on, and we're going to face off here down in the Aviators' end. About 47 seconds to go on this power play for the Angels. Aviators sending out 4 fresh bodies here, as it'll be Fiala and Nicholson at forward. So a couple of centers here for the Aviators. Henderson and Norby on defense. This one comes loose, tied up. Got the dot, but chipped out here by Fiala down into the Angels' end. They'll turn it right back, though, down this near side. Bring it into the zone. Fiala trying to steal this puck away into the corner. Sent out to the point by the Angels. Jackson trying to steal this puck away along the wall. He chips it out. It'll come to Fiala down the near side, feeds it to the middle, trying to get it to Nicholson before the goaltender. Sorry about the camera there. Shot sent on by Daxon. Goaltender had to make the save. Stretch pass to the near side here. Stolen away by Henderson. Henderson will skate this one forward. Lost the handle on it. Angels will chip it back down in. So we're back to 5-on-5 hockey here with about 4:20 to play in the second period. Stolen away by the Angels. They try to feed one out front. Here's a shot in the slot sent on. Blake makes the save, but the net's off once again. Goaltenders having a tough time with their pegs today. Hopefully that'll get better after this second period as we get some fresh ice, get those nets out there when the water's still wet, get that pad frozen in a little bit. Shower will take the face off here for the Aviators. Push forward. Yana trying to dig it loose. Angels keep it in the zone. No, they'll dump it down in the near side corner. Picked up by Kulak, who sends off the board, but not out. Angels get it back. They feed it to the middle. Shot sent on. That one whistles wide. Picked up by Yana. Dumps it back down in the corner for his defenseman, Minima, who rings it around over to Bai. He lost the handle on it. Angels will steal it back. They'll have control off the wall. Tried to take a shot there. One-timer sent on. Now a rebound finds the back of the net. And the Angels have the 3-1 lead here with 3:45 to play in the second period. So what looked just like a simple, lazy play turns into a goal for the Angels. The Aviators just kind of standing around watching the play happen. And we're going to face off here at center ice after that goal by the Angels. 3-1 hockey game sent in. Easton Green gets knocked down. Picked up by Seppi. She'll skate this one forward. Backhands one up to Berg. Berg chips it into the zone. Down into the corner. Berg gets it first. Try to backhand one out front. Seppi comes behind the wall. Or behind the net here. Try to steal that one away. Looks like Angels have control of it. Back to Nicholson. He'll push it down into the corner. Dumped back in by Berg. He'll send this one right in on net. Goaltender will hand it off to his defenseman. Nicholson with it. Backhands one towards the goaltender. He holds on. And we're going to face off here down in the Angels' end. So 3:05 to go second period. 3-1 lead for the Angels. They lead in the shot department as well, 29-17. It'll be Nicholson, Seppi, and Berg that'll stay out there with Easton and Benson at defense. One back by the Angels. They'll go behind their own net, slow things down. Chip it up the near side wall. Through the middle here. Angels will get it out in the neutral zone as they dump this down into the Aviators' end. Easton Green will chase after it. That player should be sent home because that was egregious, and that's at least a major, probably a game ejection, I would hope. Yeah. It's got to be a game ejection. Easton Green completely full numbers shoved into the boards from the back. Has to be ejected. We'll find out here. The refs are talking about it. I don't know how you can't. That was probably one of the worst checking from behinds that we've seen all year. Looks like they are going to keep him in the game. I don't think it's going to turn into a major. We'll see what they put up on the board here. .245 to play. Yeah, not even a major. It's just a 2-minute boarding call. I don't know how that's possible, but either way. Power play opportunity here for the Aviators. Shot sent on. Whistles just wide. Fiala trying to stuff it in there. Looks like goaltender got a glove on it. And we'll get a whistle here. Fiala wins it back, comes to Benson. Benson at the point. Feeds it over to Henderson. Henderson works it to the near side, taking a look. Backhands one, but stolen away by the Angels here, and they'll turn this one back. Down the left side, shot sent on. Big save there, goes around the net. Comes loose up to Henderson, but he has his pocket picked. Fargo comes over and knocks the player off the puck. Comes over to Fiala. Aviators can't get control on the puck here. They have all their big dogs out there. This one picked up by Blasky. He'll chip it in. Aviators will chase after it. Stolen away here by the Angels. Not much of a power play as 30 seconds has gone by here. Angels have had it most of the time. Dump down in, stopped by Blake, leaves it off for his defenseman, Henderson. Henderson will skate this one forward, almost runs into Benson, gets sealed off by Fargo. They'll just dump it back down in, but Henderson's able to knock it out in the neutral zone. Sent through the middle, stolen away there by Fargo, but pushed forward a little bit too much for himself, and Angels will get control. Hard hit there along the boards, and here's a chance for the Angels. 2-on-1. Nice job by the Aviators. Get back. That one's sitting on Blakey, holds on, and we're going to face off down here in the Aviators' end, and we go under a minute left on the power play here for the Aviators. 1:42 to play in the second period. So 57 seconds to go here on the power play. Showers line comes out for the Aviators. Wins that one back. Comes loose to Kulak. He'll go behind the net. Feeds it up to let me get the camera on that. Picked up by Yana. Yana down the near side. Slows things up. Tries to feed it through the middle, but the Angels steal it away and dump it back down. Well, 40 seconds left on the power play. Kulak over to Shower. Shower through the middle over to Bai. Bai skates this one in, hands it off to Kulak. Kulak walks it forward, takes a shot through traffic. Goaltender makes a save. Bai got another shot off. Goaltender made a save, but the net's off again. And we'll get a face off here. Not sure if it'll be on the near side here. Looks like it'll be the far side. Showers line will stay out there. We'll get Kulak and meet him on defense. 27 seconds to go on the power play here as Angels get control. Shower trying to steal it back. It'll be Meadham at the point that dumps it down into the corner, gets it over to Yana. Yana tries to backhand one out for Wyatt. Sent up the point. Comes to Kulak. Kulak dumps it down low, back to Wyatt. That goes off of his stick. Only about 10 seconds left to go on the power play here. As the Angels will skate this one forward. 2 seconds, so we're going to go back 5-on-5 here as we got about 40 seconds to play here in this second period. Shower with it behind his own net. Hands it off, gives it back to Yana. Yana sends it over to Kulak. Kulak sends it through the middle, trying to hit Shower. Angels get control in their own zone here. Spin away from one. They'll skate this one forward. Dump down into the corner. Minima will get there first for the Aviators. About 15 seconds to go here. Shower lost the handle on it. Fargo stole it back. Now Shower will just dump this one down. Looks like this one will go right on net. The goaltender has to play it. Only about 3 seconds to go here, second period. And that will do it. So 2 periods in the books, 3-1 lead for the Angels. Players will head to the locker rooms. We'll get some fresh ice. Hopefully that'll help our nets from coming off. But either way, we're going to take a short little break here, about 10 to 15 minutes as we get some fresh ice, and we'll be back for the third period. Hopefully you can join us. All right, here we go. Third period. About to get underway. Aviators trailing 3-1 here to Fargo Angels. Angels will be down a man. Well, there'll be a guy in the box. They'll stay 5-on-5, but they will lose that player for at least another 7 minutes as he got called for a major penalty there, 10-2. So once that 10 minutes is elapsed, the first whistle after that, he will be released from the box. The scores table will keep track of that and let him out when the time is right. Aviators got some work to do here. Definitely have to find a way to control the puck a lot more than they have. Also, take the intensity up a notch or two. A couple of the goals were results of just some lazy play, watching the play happen, not helping out their goaltender. So we got 17 minutes up on the board, just waiting for the players to get stretched out here, warmed up a little bit for this third period. Good to see Easton Green skating around fine. He got hit pretty hard from behind there. There he was out here. Actually, I don't even see him on the ice anymore. He might be off now. I saw him outside the locker in between periods. I do not see him now on the ice. I thought he was out there when they first came out, but I guess not. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for tomorrow. So defense will be shifting around here now that they're playing with 5D. Won't be staying with their normal pairs. So we'll see the Shower line out there for the Aviators out there with Yana and Bai. Daxon and Kulak. This one brought forward by Daxon, but gets caught by the water monster here a little bit. We'll have to deal with that here for the first couple minutes as we let the ice continue to freeze up here. Kulak sends one through the middle, comes over to Yana. He lost an edge from his feet, though. Gets it up to Shower. Shower brings it in down the left side. Gets tied up along the boards. Player's trying to dig it loose. Looks like it's getting caught up in the water there a little bit as well. This one skated forward by the Angels, trying to get it out. Looks like they will get out in the neutral zone. Comes to Daxon, who feeds it through the middle, trying to hit Yana. This one will go down. Angels will grab it along the boards, but Shower steals it away, but it will come out into the neutral zone, picked up by Benson, who feeds it over to Yana, who dumps it down in. He'll go for a change. Looks like all the forwards will, so Benson and Minima were the only ones out there for a moment, but out comes Fiala's line as Angels dump it through. They actually send it all the way back out. They'll have to get back on side here, so they'll dump this one in right on Blake. He gloves it, holds on, hands it off to Benson. Benson will skate this one forward, gets swallowed up right away. Angels get control of it again in their own zone. They go D-to-D. Misplayed there, but brought in off sides. Actually, I don't know if he brought it all the way back in. The ref wanted to blow the whistle, but then pulled it back. That one comes through the middle. A little bit of sloppy play here from both teams, but they finally dump it down into the Aviators' end. Minima will go back to pick it up. He backhands it up the wall, trying to get up to Fargo. Minima dumps it behind his own net, over to Benson. Benson takes a look. He'll skate this one forward. Gets knocked down along the wall here. Looks like an offsides call, and we'll get a face-off here. Just outside the zone right here in front of us. About 15-13 to go here in the third period. 3-1 hockey game. Angels leading the Aviators. Big shout out to all the guys out there fishing. I got some family members hanging out in the ice shack today, enjoying some fishing and I'm sure a few other adult beverages. This one's dumped down into the Aviators' end, picked up by Henderson. Henderson through the middle, goes off a Nicholson skate. Henderson gets it back. He'll stay with it. Skates this one forward down the right side. Trying to get through the defenseman, gets sealed off, still has it caught up in his skates. Nicholson comes in to help dig it out. Now Berg. Angels get control, though. They'll feed this one up the wall and skate this one out in the neutral zone. Dumps it down into the Aviators' end. Blake will slow this down for his defenseman, picked up by Daxon. Daxon takes a look, sends one through the middle. That one gets knocked away. Seffi lost her stick here. Angels will take a shot. That one goes up and over the net. Berg gets on it on the far side. Tied up along the wall. Daxon comes in to help out. Comes loose down into the corner. Caden Giannis seals off the Angels player there. He still has it though, and he'll skate this one forward. Feeds up to Nicholson. That splits through everybody. We'll go all the way down the ice here for icing. So we'll reset back down to the Aviators' end here with 14:06 to play, third period. Shots shown in favor of the Angels, 32-18. They lead on the scoreboard as well, 3-1 here over the Aviators. This one's one back, picked up by Angels though, tipped out by Yana. Yana gets behind the defense. Yana feeds it to the middle, trying to get it over to Bai. That gets stolen away, but picked up by Shower. He'll bring it in, cuts it to the middle, lost the handle on it. Yana back to you. Shower got a shot off. Goaltender makes a big save. Angels turn it right back out the neutral zone, down into the Aviators' end. Working on Kulak, he knocked the puck away. Battle for it in the corner, picked up by Shower. Feeds it up to Bai. Bai passes over to Yana. Yana has to slow down. Just chips it out in the neutral zone. Angels turn it right back in. Stopped there out of the air by Kulak. Dumped down the ice here. I'm not sure if that went off a glove. Looks like an arm up, and we will get an icing call here. And a face-off coming back down in the Aviators' end. So 13:23 to play. Fiala's line comes out for the Aviators. He's out there with Fargo and Blasky. Henderson and Minima on defense. Fargo creeped in there a little bit. They waited for him to get set before he dropped the puck. Picked up by Henderson. Goes off a stick, comes to Minima. He blows the tire behind the net. Stolen away by the Angels. They feed it out to the point. That jumps over the player's stick and goes all the way down the ice. The Angels have to retreat in their own end to pick this one up. They work it up the far side wall now to the middle. Brought into the zone down the right side. Centering attempt there went off Minima's skate. He gets control, feeds it over to Fargo behind the net. Minima picks this one up, works it through the middle, gets it up to Fiala. Fiala brings it in, lost the handle on it, picked up by Blasky. Blasky backhands one down below the goal line. Minima following it up, tried to steal it away. Dumped out, comes to Daxon at his own blue line. He sends one through the middle over to Blasky. Blasky tried to tip it into the zone, but it went up and out of play. So it looks like we're going to face off here at center ice. As Nicholson's line comes out for the Aviators. He's got Seffi to his right. And Berg to his left. I'll flip-flop that, I guess. Now they switch sides, and we're going to move the face-off back closer to the Aviators' end. Seffi pushes it back to Kulak. Kulak over to Daxon. Daxon back to Seffi. Seffi dumps it down in. She'll chase after it. Down below the goal line, trying to steal this one away. Berg over there. Slips through a couple players behind the net, trying to get away from the two players. Seffi feeds it out to Kulak. Kulak takes a shot through traffic. That one was going to go well wide. It hits Berg laying down behind the net there. Fargo gets control, picked up by Nicholson, but a tripping call coming here on Nicholson. And we're going to face off back down the Aviators' end as they'll go down a man here. 2-minute power play for the Angels. So they'll look to extend their lead here in the third period. They already lead by 2. 11:59 to go, third period. Power play opportunity. Seffi will take the face off here. She's out there with Berg. Benson and Minima will be the defensemen. Angels have control down the corner. They work it up the sideboards. They feed it through the middle. Back door, wide open net. Power play goal just like that. They make it a 4-1 hockey game here with 11:44 to play here in the third period. 4-1 lead here for the Angels over the Aviators. Aviators now with a big hole to dig out of here in the next 11.5 minutes. Showers line takes the face off. One back to Miedema. Miedema chips it forward down into the Angels' end. They'll clear this one out right away. It'll come over to the far side to Benson. Benson trying to slip away. Brought in offsides there by the Angels. We're going to face off here right in front of the Aviators bench. Shower will take the face off for the Aviators. Brought forward by the Angels. Knocked away, though, out into the neutral zone. Wyatt trying to get control of this one. Now Shower comes in to help him out. He'll dig it loose. Feeds it over to Miedema. Miedema up the boards, trying to hit Yana. Yana to the middle, gets it to Wyatt, but stolen away from him. Well, back and forth here. Angels dump this one down in. Blake will stop it behind his own net. Hands it off to Benson. Benson slips away from one Angels player. Feeds it up to Yana. Yana to the middle, gets it over to Shower. Shower dumps it down to the blue line where Wyatt tries to grab it, but it looks like the Angels will get there first. Angels feed up the far side, comes out of the neutral zone, picked up by Benson. Benson gets it up to Yana, down into the zone. Angels will get on it. They'll feed it up the far side wall. Fargo, big hit there, keeps the puck in the zone for a second, but Angels will skate this one right out now over the red line. Down the right side, defended nicely there by Benson. He'll skate this one forward. Fargo feeds it over to the far side of Fiala. That went off a couple sticks. Angels get on it first behind the net. Fiala trying to steal that one away. Backhands went out to Miedema, but stolen away by the Fargo Angels player. And he'll dump it down and gets around Miedema. 2-on-1 here. Centering pass. Nice job by Miedema to get back to help out. Got right back into play and sealed off that 2-on-1. Fiala flies down the far right side, trying to feed this one out front. Puck loose. No Aviators in sight, though, to get a shot off. Fiala gets it right here in front of us, dumps it back down into the Fargo, and that goes off a Fargo player. Fiala has to wait for Mason to get back on side there. The Angels skate this one forward. Brought into the zone, big hip check there by Benson. Comes loose to Daxon behind the net, dumps one off the glass. This will come out to the point. Fargo Angels get there first. They push it back down the sidewall. Now out into the neutral zone it comes. Angels will have to get back on side. They elect to just dump it in. That one will go behind the net. Benson will go back to pick it up. Slips away from one player. Skates this one forward with some speed. Down the left side. Brings it into the zone, trying to get around them all. Down low, try to feed out front for Seppi, who was waiting for it. The Angels are able to steal that one away and work it back up to the point, but not out. Benson turns, fires that one in. Seppi grabs it. Trying to get a second attempt on it. Sends it off the goaltender. Almost banked it in off the back of the goaltender's leg into the back of the net, but he was able to get it covered up. And we're going to face off here down in the Angels' end. It'll be Nicholson's line comes out for the Aviators. Kulak and Miedema on defense. Comes back to Miedema. Miedema shots it on through traffic, blocked away by the goaltender. Seppi put on the pressure again, but the Angels are able to work this one up to the top of the circle. Stolen away there by Berg for a moment, but the Angels work this one out. And a penalty coming here to the Aviators again, just looking to get a touch on it. So a power play opportunity again for the Angels here. Seppi heads to the box. Oh, 5-on-4 opportunity again for the Angels here. They scored on their last one just 14 seconds into it. They work it down in the corner. Stolen away by Henderson. Goes behind his own net. Tries to feed it up the wall. Looks like he'll get it out to the point. Shots then on. That one whistles just wide. It goes over to the far side. Angels get on it first. Work it down low again. Try to feed it up front. Stolen away by Miedema. Miedema dumps one up the boards. This one will roll down the ice. No ice here, though. Picked up by the Angels behind their own net. They feed it up the wall. Sent through the middle. Stolen away by Yana. Shot sit on. Goaltender makes the save. Shorthanded opportunity there for the Aviators. The Angels work it down the near side into the Aviators' end. Push it down below the goal line. 7:40 to play here. Minute 10 or so to go on the power play. This one goes out to the point. Angels keep it in. They work it down the sidewall. Work it to the middle. Shot sent on through traffic. Went off a stick up and over the net. This one comes loose. Comes up to Shower. Shower will skate this one forward down the far side. Dumps it down in. Looks like him and Yano will go for a change. As Daxon and Kulak come out on defense. Looks like it'll be Wide and Ryder Blasky here on as the forwards. There's a shot sent on. Blake makes the save here. Whistle blowing. Looks like it maybe had leaked out behind, but the whistle had already been blown. So 38 seconds to go on the power play here for the Angels. 7:03 to play here in this third period. A 4-1 lead for the Angels. Picked up by Kulak. He'll ring this one around. Comes out to the point, but not out. Blasky will grab it. He'll send it out in the neutral zone. Angels with control. They'll skate this one through the middle. Shot sent on. That one beats Blake over the blocker's side. Another power play goal here for the Angels. Makes it a 5-1 game with 6:48 to play. No face-off center ice here. One back by the Angels. Aviators can't seem to get anything working today. They haven't won a lot of face-offs either. This one's pushed forward, but a nice job by the Aviators there to stop that pass through. It would have led to a 2-on-0 down low. This one's stolen away by Blasky. He'll chip it out in the neutral zone. That goes off a Angel stick, so no ice. Fiala putting the pressure on. Now Fargo comes in. Blasky. Angels able to send it up the sidewall. Stolen away. Here's Kulak. Sends one towards the net. Goes wide. Blasky trying to get a stick on it. Sent through the middle here. To the near side. Shot set on, but blocked by Kulak's skate there. Picked up by Fiala. Feeds it out into the neutral zone. I don't know how that wasn't offsides. Both feet were in the zone. Stick was touching the puck outside the zone. Not sure how that's not. Shot set on, goes all the way through everybody. Centering pass goes off of Blake's stick, picked up here by Benson. Benson will skate this one forward with some speed down the near side. Works it to the middle, now back out. Down the left, slows it up, spins away. Turns, fires, sent through traffic, gets blocked by a skate. Picked up by Nicholson behind the net. Tried to feed it up and over the net. This one comes loose out to the blue line. Benson has to, oh, he's able to keep it in, looks like. So the puck stays in the zone. Now sent out, but it goes off of Seppi as she was coming to join the play. Back in off sides. So we're going to face off here right in front of the Angels bench. 5:05 to play third period. 5-1 lead here for the Angels. Nicholson to take the face off. Dug out by Owen Berg. Brings it down the left side. Sends a shot on net. Goaltender makes the save. Holds on. And we'll reset and do a face off here down in the Angels' end. Nicholson to take the face-off out there between Berg and Seppi. Minima, who has it now. Shot sent on. Gets it down to Seppi. Over to Benson. Shot sent on through traffic. Hit Berg out front. Didn't make it to the goaltender. Berg trying to steal this one away along the wall. In comes Seppi and Nicholson. Sent through the middle. Charlie tried to slide over and keep that in, but it does come out Neutral zone now down in the Aviators end, picked up by Benson. Backhanded through the middle, trying to get it over to Seffi. Dumped back down in by the Angels, picked up by Benson. Benson sends it off the wall over to Seffi. Seffi to the middle, gets it over to Nicholson, but the Angels stole that away and dumped it back in. Stretch pass through the middle here, goes off a shower stick all the way down for icing. So we'll reset back down in the Aviators end here for a face-off. Face up, tied up along the wall here. Dug out, sent all the way down by the Aviators. Will be picked up by Angels in their own zone. They stretch one to the far side. Daxton will slide up, chip that forward, gets it up to Shower. Daxton stays with it, though, along the wall, gets it back into the Angels zone. But sent right back out in the neutral zone. Picked up by Henderson. He'll bring this one forward with some speed. Cuts it to the middle. Gets swallowed up, but stays with it. Sends a shot towards the net. Gets stopped by a defenseman's skate. Angels have control. They'll work this one through the middle. Knocked down by Wyatt, but right to an Angels player. He'll dump this one down into the Aviators corner here where it's picked up by Shower. Slips away from a couple different players. Gets it up to Yana. Lost the handle on it. Wyatt couldn't quite get good control of that one, and they'll feed it back out to the point. Now down the sidewall. Backhanded out to the point, shot sent on. Big save there by Blake. Kicks the rebound out far enough. Otherwise, there was a player standing there that would have had an easy tap in. Picked up by Shower. Sends it through the middle. Dumps this one all the way down. And we'll reset back down in the Aviators end with 2:52 to play here. Third period, 5-1 lead for the Angels. As Fiala's line comes out for the Aviators, it'll be Benson and Kulak on defense. Mason Fiala take the face out. Picked up by Kulak along the wall. Sends it up to Fargo. Fargo gets through a couple of players. Brings this one forward, 2-on-1 with Blasky. Shot sent on. Big save there by the goaltender. Holds on, and we'll get a face off here down in the Angels' end. Fiala to take the face off again. One back by the Angels. They'll go behind their own net. Fargo trying to steal it away. Angels reverse it over back to the far side. Fiala gets a stick on it. Angels try to work this one out. It'll come over to the near side. Tied up along the wall here. Benson had his pocket picked a little bit, but Benson gets it back. Benson will skate this one forward. Dump down in. Defense going for a change. Blasky staying high here to cover for the defenseman. Angels work it out in the middle. Daxton will chase after this one on the far side. Angels get there first. Sent into the zone. Picked up by Fiala. Fiala to Daxton. Daxton through the middle. Finds Blasky. Pushed out in the neutral zone. Trying to find the puck here. It looks like they're going to take one from each team here for just pushing and shoving. So we'll stay 5-on-5, just one player from each team headed to the box here. Minute 54 to play in the game. 4-goal lead here for the Angels. Another penalty coming to the Aviators. Looks like Daxton will head to the box here on a tripping call. We're going to face off down here in the near side of the Aviators' end. So Aviators not doing themselves any favors here, so they'll go 5-on-4 again. Face off, one back by the Angels. They feed it to the top of the point, D to D. Now down the sidewall. Out to the point, misplayed there. Here's a race for it. Seffi's going to chase after this one. Angels go behind their own net, dropped it off. Feed it up the far side. Now down the wall, Henderson defending. Big hit there along the wall. Nicholson chips it forward, trying to get it up to Seffi. Push towards the net. That one will roll in on Blake. He'll get a cover on that one. We'll get a face off. Minute 9 seconds to go here. Angels will be on the power play for the rest of the period. Caden Yano will take the face off. He's out there with Owen Berg. Big Benson and Nick Henderson on defense. Is one back by the Angels. They'll send that shot on. Goes off the skate down in the corner. Picked up by Angels. They work it behind the net. Try to feed it back over. Angels have control behind the Aviators net. They work it into the corner. Now a stretch past the far side. Went off a Benson stick, and then a shot's in on there. Went off a Berg stick up into the netting. We're going to face off here on the near side in the Aviators end. About 48 seconds to play here. Face off, one back by the Aviators, picked up by Henderson. He'll chip this one down. That one will go for icing. And we'll reset. Back all the way down here in the Aviators end for a face-off. So face-off here in the Aviators end, one back by the Aviators. Angels quickly steal that away though. They work it to the side. Stretch it all the way over to the top. Hand it off, go D to D here. Shot sent on through traffic, bouncing puck. Somehow finds the back of the net. That's a 6-1 lead here for the Angels with just 26 seconds to play here. Oh, back to 5-on-5. Daxon is let out of the bench, or out of the box. The two roughing minors are still in there. Face off. Controlled initially by the Angels, but Aviators got it back. Now they dump it down through the middle here. Picked up by Kulak. This could get a little chippy. There's about 3 seconds to play here. Yana with a big hit down in the corner. Kulak with one at center ice. But that is the end of this one, a 6-1 win for the Angels. So not the result the Aviators were looking for here, especially for a league fucking play. But either way, a 6-1 loss here. They'll play tomorrow at 12:15 for or against Fargo. Freeze will be another league game, one they will want to win. That's the bottom of the barrel there. So they'll need to make sure they come ready for that one. Players go through the customary handshake line here. Surprised they let them do it with a little bit of shoving and stuff that we had at the end there, but either way, they do. And that'll do it for us here this morning. I guess we're afternoon now, but either way, we appreciate you guys joining us and hope you'll be able to join us tomorrow at 12:15. It'll be the Aviators versus the Fargo Freeze once again here in Grand Forks. We will see you next time.